Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is my review, New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 29 Night 8 event. Yes, I'm sorry for the delayed review here. I did unfortunately have to sleep in, and I, just got to it right now. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I will go over the point totals at the end of this review, just for the B block, since it's just B block action tonight. Also, a special note, in case you missed it on my other reviews, I'm going to a 2-day Defy Northwest Wrestling event, the 26th and 27th, so Friday and Saturday, and I work Saturday morning. So unfortunately, the 27th event, night 9, and then also night 10, what's taking place on Sunday, those will probably be a combined review Sunday morning, afternoon, unless I'm busy, and then I'm going to have to delay that until Tuesday, when I watch the July 30th edition, so that might be a 3-day review. So I do apologize for a delay in the review, but I'm just letting you guys know right now, if you don't see a review, do not worry. I'm still going to cover all the G1 shows. But anyway, Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, and Chris Charlton on commentary here for Night 8, and we get Bad Luck Fale, Yujiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens versus Will Ospreay, Yuya Uemura, and Honma. And it's mainly a preview of Fale versus Ospreay. I do not foresee Ospreay being able to pick Fale up in the Stormbreaker. That would be super impressive if he did, but I do not believe he will do it. I'm not doubting Will Ospreay's ability. I just don't see it happening. I think he may beat Fale, but who the fuck knows. Honma, of course, gets beat up even after doing a few strikes. Big shock, he gets beat up. And then Bullet Club takes over, goes outside. Ospreay eventually gets tagged, goes after everybody, even attacks Fale. There was this one cool spot that Chase Owens did with Will Ospreay, slingshot into a Death Valley driver off the ropes. That was pretty impressive. Still, I find Chase boring, but hey, he can pull off some good moves. He was trained by one of the Rock and Roll Express, so hey, he's no slouch when it comes to the fundamentals in the ring. And then Yuya eventually gets tagged in. He tangles with Yujiro, but in the end, Pimp Juice, 1, 2, 3, big shock. The Young Lion got pinned. Hey, at least Honma didn't get pinned in a match for once. So it was fine, and Fale versus Ospreay will probably be okay. I don't know how good it's going to be. I hope it's close to what Archer and Fale was, where you keep it short and sweet, and you just have it where Ospreay can go over Fale without Fale looking too weak. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We then get Evil, Sonata, and Bushi versus Minoru Suzuki, Lance Archer, and Zack Sabre Jr., and we're getting Zack Sabre Jr. versus Evil, I believe, on night 9. I'm not sure what else is going to happen here, but it was a fine match. It was typical Suzuki-gun stuff. And we get, we get the action going outside like almost immediately. Suzuki and then Archer and Sonata got in. Suzuki hitting some incredible, just kicks and strikes. It's really scary just how, tough Suzuki is. At like 51, I think. I mean, the guy could wrestle till he's 60. I think he's got a couple years left and he'll probably retire, but who knows? The guy could wrestle for a goddamn long time because he wrestles a safe enough style. But anyway, Archer and Sonata got in. That was a nice little, speed versus power battle. Bushi gets tagged. And the EBD, I kept calling it the EVD claw, but it's actually the Everybody Dies claw. And that gets slapped on Sonata. But in the end, because Bushi and Suzuki were the legal men, Gotch style pile driver, 1, 2, 3. Bushi takes the pin to the shock of absolutely no one. And then we get Ibushi and Ren Narita versus Tanahashi and Shota. Oh, we get Ibushi versus Tanahashi in a preview of last year's G1 finals. And I think that takes place, the announcer said, August 3rd. So really, they're just trying to give teases to like future stuff to like, hey, really watch this. And if Ibushi and Tanahashi is anything even close to what they did in the finals last year, that may be one of the matches of the tournament, at least top 5 for sure. And the Young Lions got in. They had some good stuff. I mean, Ibushi and Tana did start off with some good stuff. Shota and Ibushi did tangle a little bit. That was pretty nice. We get more Tana and Kota, and then we get a Sling Blade pinning Ren Narita for the 1, 2, 3. It's a bit of an odd finish, but Ren Narita's developing. He's doing pretty well. And I think it's smart to not have Tana do the high fly flow so many times throughout the tournament, whether in these tag previews or in the G1 matches in general, because the guy's being held together basically with rubber bands and paper clips and tissue paper and glue and everything. I mean, and I'm not knocking Tana. He's beat his body to shit. He's done some incredible work carrying New Japan on his back for so many years. His body it's taken a toll on his body, and hopefully he can preserve himself for another couple years and continue to have high-level performances, and I very much doubt it. after maybe this year, maybe possibly next year. I'm not trying to write Tana off. I just don't want to see him so crippled that he can't do anything in the ring anymore. But that being said, we had a stare down between Tanahashi and Kota, and that was fine. And then we go to Kenta, Clark Connors, and Carl Fredericks. I almost said Chuck Connors, and I'm like, wait, he's not the Rifleman. And if you know what that is, okay. I mean, good on you for knowing your old Western TV history. And they took on Okada, Yoshihashi, and Toa Henare. And Okada and Kenta, that's a nice preview. That's something I want to see. That's going to be interesting. They start off the match. And then Henare gets in. There's chops aplenty. There's Carl Fredericks getting beat up for a bit. That was fine. Carl Fredericks at least showed some toughness. Yoshihashi got in with Connors, and in the end, Butterfly Lock taps him, and there we go. Not a bad match. The undercard matches were fine. And then we start off with the first of the B-block matches, Toru Yano and Juice Robinson. And this match was 5 minutes tops. It was a lot of antics. There was a turnbuckle bad antics, and then typical Yano antics. Juice did end up hitting the exposed turnbuckle a couple times. There were some guardrail spots outside, but in the end, Yano kept trying for the low blow, even with some ref distractions. Nope. Juice Robinson, left-handed God, Pulp Friction 1, 2, 3. So Juice ends up beating Yano, which was probably smart, because as much as while I find Yano entertaining, eventually it needs to be where, other people get pushed. I mean, Yano is good for a laugh. He actually is a pretty good wrestler when he wants to be serious, but Juice winning here was the right call. Taichi with Miho Abe versus Hirooki Goto. And Taichi is trying to get under Goto's skin by attacking Carl Fredericks, who's the second at ringside, one of the LA Dojo members. And, of course, Hirooki Goto trains with the LA Dojo class, helps train them. And Taichi even rips off the LA Dojo shirt, and it's like stepping on and everything. That angers Goto, so during his entrance, he starts attacking Taichi. This isn't a bad match. I knew what was going to happen, and I don't mind some heel antics and everything, and some heel stuff, and some heel tactics. But eventually, when it gets so samey, it kind of becomes a little bit annoying. Like, you did have action going outside. Taichi did take over. He did hit some nice kicks. When Taichi actually wants to be serious and show up, he's actually not that bad. Goto does come back. Taichi does hit some more kicks. There was a ref bump. Of course there was. Goto kept trying to go for the GTR, but nope. Taichi kept stopping every time by going for the ref, pulling the ref in and, doing the distraction. Low blow, and I believe Gato clutch 1, 2, 3, and Taichi earns 2 points. I don't have a problem with it because I think that we know that Goto wasn't going to make a huge splash beyond what he did to Jay White at the beginning of the B block, which actually was a pretty good match. But honestly, Taichi beating Goto, unless this is going to lead to something, and Goto maybe getting a little, darker and everything, sure, it's a younger guy being an older guy, which I do complain about in other, companies not happening much, but when it's the same stuff that Taichi keeps doing, if he had more of a match like he had with Ishii, like for the Never Openweight Championship, I'd be okay with that. Something about this didn't pop with me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And then we get Shingo versus Jon Moxley, and this was good. This was actually where things picked up a little bit. They apparently used to be part of a faction in Dragon Gate. I'm not as familiar with my Dragon Gate history, but apparently that's so hey, cool. It was physical from the beginning. I mean, my God, this is the chops, the hits. There was a table spot. There was a DVD by Shingo outside. But he did not hit the apron because it was, as we know, hardest part of the ring. Moxley kept focusing on the knee. There were some nice strikes, some nice clotheslines, cool couple pumping bombers. No Shigami at one point. Where he has his opponent on his back. Shingo doesn't. It just flops back. That was some good shit. Knee into the table where Moxley just picks up Shingo's knee, kind of like he's going to hit his knee into his knee like Flair did said for the figure 4. Nope, he hits right into the table. The table does not give. This table says, I am the table and I will not give up. And we then get another chair to the knee where Moxley puts a chair over Shingo's injured knee and then hits the chair on that. It's kind of like what Austin did to Pillman's ankle and what's been happening in wrestling, Japanese wrestling, American wrestling, British wrestling for years. Made in Japan for 2. I mean, Shingo did not back off, but we get a regal knee to the back of the head, and then we get Cloverleaf tapping Shingo. I believe it's the first time that Shingo has tapped in his New Japan run, which is smart. Give it to Moxley. Shingo still had a good showing here. I'm fine with it. Moxley will probably taste defeat in one of his next 2 matches, possibly Sunday morning. We'll see. But that was fine. That's where things picked up. This was actually the best tournament match of the night so far. And then we get Jay White versus Jeff Cobb. Get a lot of stalling by Jay White. I like Jay White. Jay White's a great heel. But sometimes, kind of like the same with Taichi. I mean, Jay White's much better than Taichi, don't get me wrong. And I'm not knocking Taichi. Jay White is much better. But this didn't... At times this popped, and at other times it did not pop for me. It just... excuse me. It felt like... I knew it was going to happen. Jay White winning didn't bother me. It's like Cobb's just basically there to fill out the field. You could have put Hanara in there. And I love Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb's a great wrestler. But we know he's signed a Ring of Honor, so we know he's not going to get more than a couple victories. But anyway, Cobb does throw Jay White around for a bit. We then get Gato interfering, big shock. Jay White starts focusing on the neck. Cobb does come back. There was a nice snap Saito suplex, a beautiful move by Jay White. He really does know his shit. And as commentary says, is wise beyond his years. Jay White is very good. He has developed into close to an elite performer when he wants to be. Pretty much since about, I would say, last year's G1. He really did start to shine right there. We then get more Gato antics. A nice deadlift superplex by Cobb that was freaking beautiful and looked like it hurt like hell. But then we get a ref bump. Then we get a low blow. And we, after attempted a tour of the islands, then we get a low blow and then Blade Runner 1, 2, 3. So Jay White earns his first 2 points. Jay White talks about going on a run and getting his next 6 matches, or the last 6 matches, and going 6-0. I think he'll get close. I think that he will probably end up beating Naito on the final night, and that's going to set up an Intercontinental title program. I do not believe that Jay White's going to get to... If Jay White even gets to the finals, he's not going to win. And I'm sorry, because I just have no desire to see Jay White versus Okada again. I don't think that's a Wrestle Kingdom-worthy main event. Not that it wasn't a good match, and not that it won't be in the future. I just mean right now. They faced off a G1 Supercard in a very good match. But who knows what's going to happen. Let me know if you think Jay White's going to get into the B-Block Finals. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But then we get Naito versus Tomohiro Ishii, a great main event. Great main event. You can't figure out who the fuck I was rooting for. Actually, I was rooting for Ishii to win, but I knew he wouldn't. It was a good match. It was what you would expect. There was heavy strikes, neck focus by Naito, reminding you that Ishii actually does have a neck. He doesn't have much of a neck, but he does have a neck. Ishii just tossing around with power and does get grounded, of course, at some points because, Naito is pretty goddamn good. And Ishii, while it doesn't seem like he's human, he is really human. Nice chop fest. The crowd was very, very, very much alive. There's a big neck breaker off the ropes. But then we get, Gloria where he, traps the arm and Naito just drops Ishii almost on his head. It looked fucking brutal. Big superplex later by Ishii for 2. And then short arm Destino for 2. That didn't happen. There were some close near falls. Looked like Ishii might get the victory, but nope. In the end, Destino. I'm not going to try to do it like Kevin Kelly. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, Naito gets a couple more points, and that's where we're going to go with that. And I'm going to finish up with the points. I'm going to give you my grade. So, B block. Juice Robinson has 6. Shingo Takagi has 4. Jon Moxley has 8. Jon Moxley leading the B block. Taichi has 4. Toru Yano has 4. Tetsuya Naito has 4. Tomohiro Ishii has 4. Jeff Cobb, Hirooki Goto, and Jay White each have 2. So, really besides 2 block, I enjoyed Jay White versus Cobb for what it was. I enjoyed Taichi versus Goto for what it was. But really the only 2 matches that you need to watch from here are Shingo and Moxley and Naito and Ishii. And because of that, I gotta say B-. I enjoyed the show. I was close to doing a C+, had Moxley and Shingo not been as good, and had Naito and Ishii not been that good, and I don't know how those matches couldn't have been good, I would have probably gone to about a C. But I'm going to go B-. If I forget to put a poll up there, please let me know in the comments what you think. But yes, once again, I will have a double review, possibly triple review, depending on my time, depending on how limited my time is. The 27th, 28th shows will either be reviewed Sunday afternoon and or, Tuesday morning along with the July 30th edition. But anyway, agree to disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm Joe Ritlin. I will see you soon.